So we have his and hers S-Works Tarmac commuter bikes. This is if we're going to the shops, errands and stuff like this. This is the S-Works SL8. It's a collab with Nike Trail Racing and Vibram. So the SL8 S-Works Specialized Tarmac. And yeah, it's, for a disc brake bike, it's not bad. Like, if you want to get a road disc brake bike, not that I recommend them, then this would be the best one because they're so light for a disc brake bike. Now, they're not as light as these. This bike, you probably get about $500 Australian or $500 USD. It's an SL2 S-Works Tarmac, and it is, you know, it is definitely lighter, even with the alloy front wheel. It's also much more aero in the crosswinds. These are really nice wheels as well, as I mentioned. The Bontrager Race Extra Light, super nice, lightweight, super aero. People are like, oh, but it doesn't have a deep section fairing. It's not aero. I live in Adelaide, and it's very windy here. Very windy. And so you get the side winds, you notice how aero these wheels actually are, okay? Now, in Europe, it doesn't get as windy as it does here, so it's different depends where you live. But even these Serums, these are Tour de France wheels, so they're fantastic, and they go really well. Got the Gator skins on there for a bit of commuting, puncture resistance. So these are much more aero than something like this, which is pretty aero, but it's still pretty deep, all right? So when the deeper the rim, the less aero is in the road. In the velodrome, it's a different story, but on the road, if you live in windy conditions, now this is the culprit here, isn't it? Look, so imagine that all the wind blowing through here, it's going to hit those rotors, hit that caliper, and it's going to make the front wheel not as stable. So road disc is never as stable as like a rim brake option, you know what I mean? So there you go. That's a huge difference there. I mean, that's an old, I reckon, age team bike. Look at this stuff. Got S-Works bike. This is, you know, don't mind the bike shop. A bit messy at the moment. But anyway, so that's the reality. These bikes aren't aero, especially the front end. All right, just catches the wind. All this stuff here catches the wind, and because it's at the center of your steering, it just really affects the handling. So you can never really get the good handling on the road bike like these handles. So they're on rails, man, on rails. Because look at that. The wind just blows straight through there. There's nothing grabbing that. And versus here, look at this mass here. Look at this body positive stuff, you know what I mean? Look at that. And you got a through axle here, so it's quite stiff. And so all that, it's stiff and it's unbalanced. Yeah, with a quick release system, you got a small axle in there, you get more flex, a bit more give, and it fine tunes the road a lot better, okay? So there you go, that's the deal. All right, so road disc, it is definitely a downgrade, all right? But you can run wider tires. Just get a fucking gravel bike, all right? Just get a gravel bike if you need that. But if you want pure speed, you can't go past skinny wheels, skinny rims. That's the go. There you go. Anyway, that's the deal. And also, I want to shout out to Cam Nichols. He mentioned me in his video recently. Yeah, so Cam is correct in that the latest model bikes are a nightmare to work on. They're absolute nightmare to work on. They're very fragile because the frames are super thin, and this frame's already cracked. And yeah, you know, so they're fragile. They're hard to work on. They're overall heavier. The frame is lighter, but the overall bike is heavier. Okay, so like this S-Works Tarmac frame is lighter than that S-Works Roubaix frame, but that S-Works Roubaix frame over there, we could build that up much lighter than this S-Works SL8 because we've limited the disc brakes. When you've got disc brakes, and they're extra weight and not as aero. So the new bikes aren't as aero, heavier, more expensive, more fragile than this bike here. The older S-Works, much faster, much more aero, easier to adjust, stack height reach far better. You can 27 two-post, easier to live with. BSA bottom bracket, and we've got BSA. Specialized went back to BSA, so they're learning slowly. Only took Specialized 10 years to go back to BSA. 10 years, I mean, maybe they can go back to rim brakes in 8 years' time. But yeah, anyway, that's the reality. When it comes to money, I can buy whatever I want. And yes, I do have sponsors, but you only see the honest opinion from me here, okay? I love Specialized product, but the new Tarmac is, boom, it's a letdown. It's a letdown. It really is sad to see how cycling is going. It's a shame. But 12-speed Dura-Ace, yeah, it shifts really nicely. It does shift nice. But again, aero problems, man. Aero problems, disc brakes, front end instability. And but again, if you don't ride in a windy place, then you won't notice that. But I ride all the conditions. Okay? So that's why when it's windy, I don't choose this bike. I choose rim brakes.